Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's the most loved and hated individual in the YouTube gaming community. Just saw this pretty interesting article that popped up on Eurogamer today. It's called the Secret Developers, WiiU, the Inside Story. And pretty freaking interesting. I'm gonna post a link in the description so you guys can check it out for yourself. Pretty much they're talking to a developer that's worked on WiiU titles, or at least one WiiU title before, and they're talking about the process of the development kits and how everything worked out for them. Now, this is just one example, but it's very interesting. You guys should give it a read. But I'm gonna go over a few interesting quotes from this article. Now, the reason why I decided to upload a video about this is because this developer confirms pretty much what I've been telling you guys since day one, but you didn't want to hear, the haters, of course. All right, so let's go with the first quote. So he says, code optimized for the PowerPC processors found in the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 weren't always a good fit for the WiiU CPU. You think? Anyway, he says, so while the chip has some interesting features that let the CPU punch above its weight, we couldn't fully take advantage of them. So pretty much right there, he's confirming that these launch games, like I told you guys before, were ports of code optimized for the Xbox 360, optimized for the PlayStation 3, not the Wii U. WiiU CPU is built differently than those. You're comparing out of order to in order processors. That's not going to mesh well, and that's exactly what I told you guys a year ago. Now, the second part of his quote is what's really interesting. He says, however, some code could see substantial improvements that did make the lower clock speed irrelevant. Anything up to a 4 times boost, owing to the removal of load hit stores and higher instructions per clock cycle via the inclusion of out-of-order execution. So what did I say before? WiiU CPU uses out-of-order execution. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 CPUs are in order. If these games were designed for out-of-order execution, you will see an improvement, a vast improvement. And according to this developer here, up to 4 times the improvement. Now, even with the bashing, pretty much everyone, all these developers agree that the GPU in the Wii U is actually pretty freaking good. And he confirms this there with another quote. The GPU proved to be very capable, and we ended up adding additional polished features as the GPU had the capacity to do it. Now, here's where this gets interesting. He says there was even some discussion on trying to utilize the GPU via compute shaders, GPU, to offload work from the CPU. Exactly the approach I expect to see gain traction on the next gen consoles, right? He says, but with the very limited development time and no examples or guidance from Nintendo, we didn't feel that we could risk attempting this work. So pretty much what he said there, if you didn't understand, the system is designed to utilize a GPU. They did not utilize the GPU. So if the system's designed around a GPU and you don't use it, the performance isn't going to be that good. He also confirms that the next gen consoles are also headed in the exact same direction, offloading CPU tasks to the GPUs. He also confirms that because of time constraints, available funds, they didn't even attempt to use the GPU in the Wii U. So pretty much he's confirming that due to time schedule, due to budget constraints, they didn't even attempt to take advantage of what the system had to offer. Now, another thing he talks about is the DDR3 RAM in the Wii U. Remember, everybody's making all this big deal. Oh, it's so slow, the bandwidth. Oh, it's terrible. It's worse than the 360 and PS3. Well, not according to this developer. He says, I've also seen some concerns about the use of DDR3 RAM on Wii U and a bandwidth deficit compared to PlayStation 3 and 360. This wasn't really a problem for us. The GPU could fetch data rapidly with minimal stalls via the eDRAM, and we could efficiently prefetch, allowing the GPU to run at top speed. So like I was telling you guys before, the reason for the eDRAM being there is to improve the bandwidth. That's why it's there. If these developers aren't using the eDRAM, whose fault is that? Nintendo's? No. So pretty much what this confirms is that regarding the Wii U, horsepower wise, graphical wise, we haven't seen anything yet because the publishers aren't giving these developers the time to take advantage of the system. They're not giving it the money to take advantage of the system. Visually, the best has yet to come regarding Wii U. Should be common sense, but sadly, that appears to not be the case. Have that seat.